Back again with my guys. It's Super Bowl week. Everybody got they colors on. Bears, I mean with the Niners, and these two clowns with the Ravens stuff on, I guess. Yeah. What's up? Anyway, we're doing a brief exercise today. We're gonna bring y'all our top 5 wide receivers of all time. This should be fun as hell. Like, I'm excited to do this one because it's a lot of ways this could go. And we're gonna start with Keith. Go ahead, man. The streets love you. So give them something else to talk about, man.
All right. What's up, world? Top 5 receiver. Going 5-1. Number 5. Let me preface this. I'm going based off of if I want someone on my squad. If I need a number 1 receiver, who am I picking? And it's these top 5 people.
Is that how y'all all did it?
I mean, I would say so. It's very similar to what he's saying.
Yeah, my top 5s, I treat it like a draft board.
Some people may have better stats that may be at 5 than at, some other places. But here we go. Number 5, I got that guy, T.O. Self-explanatory. Man was a monster. His career also spanned across different phases of football, and he was still effective as well. Number 4, I'm gonna get flack for this one, but I'm going with Mr. Crash Out, Antonio Brown. Number 3, I respect his game, but I was a little too young when he was in his prime. I'm putting his name on the list just so I can simmer down the haters in the comments. I got Jerry Rice at number 3. Number 2, I got Calvin Johnson, Megatron. Absolute monster. Number 1, Randy Moss.
So, yeah, solid list.
Yeah.
Solid list.
Yes.
I'm gonna go next because I think my shit is kind of like, I think it's gonna be like this lost his mind, but I'm gonna just do it, and I'll let y'all pass it to Bray, and then we'll finish up with Emmett. So number 5 of my top wide receivers of all time, I got Megatron, Calvin Johnson. He was in my division, so we saw him twice a year. If we didn't have Peanut Tillman during that time, he probably would have went off he was a walking bill, a walking 8 catches, 100 yards. But because we had Peanut Tillman, it kind of slowed him down. But he was insane and very difficult to stop. Size, speed, never really got hurt. Really a robot. I mean, his name says it all. So I got Megatron at number 5. Number 4 is probably my favorite wide receiver of all time, and that's Terrell Owens. Man, T.O., man, was my favorite player his entire career. I love the on the field, the off the field, and he was a monster on the field. To me, he's kind of comparable to my number 3. And they were at the same time. So, it was a lot of comparison, and that would be Randy Moss is my number 3. Randy, always open, speed, can catch everything, go balls. Y'all know how Randy get down. My number 2 is Jerry Rice. Complete wide receiver, complete career. Probably the people would say the greatest ever. But my number 1 wide receiver of all time, I watched this guy in the 2010s, and for a good 5-year span, he was literally unguardable. He was the best wide receiver I have ever laid eyes on in that span. And that's on Antonio Brown. He was a monster, and he's my number 1 wide receiver of all time.
I thought you were going Larry Fitzgerald for a second.
Fitz is definitely an honorable mention. So is Julio Jones. So I don't know if any of y'all have him on y'all list, but those 11s, both of them 11 should probably be on here. But I personally thought AB was incredible, and so just the best guy I've ever seen. So that's my number 1.
All right, I'm going to go with my top 5. Kind of like what Keith said. If I looked at if I was a GM and I needed to draft me a guy to be my number one wide receiver is kind of the way I would go with it. So at number 5, I got T.O. I know y'all mentioned him, second all-time yards. Enough said. Big guy, strong. At 4, I got Megatron. Not a long career, but what he did in those 9 seasons, just unstoppable. 3, I do have Larry Fitzgerald. I did look this up, but in 2008, that run that he had in 4 games, 30 catches, 7 touchdowns. I mean, it just seemed like no one could keep up with him, and he caught everything. That's what it was. 2, I got Randy Moss, just unstoppable beast. Not a whole lot of film I've seen of him, but enough. And number 1, I do have Jerry Rice, all-time leader. No one's even really that close to him. Just a dog. That's my top 5.
Good list. Some of the viewers brought up when we was talking about Barry Sanders, the last one, that the Lions just make tap out. Like, if you pause, but like if you but if you hooping for them, it just suck your soul. Pause. Like they just don't want
to back to back.
You wildin', son. You wildin'.
I'm done talking.
Yeah.
It's on you, Will.
He's a wild cat. But all right. Most of our lists are pretty similar, but the order seems to be a little bit jumbled. I did mine similar to how Keeper Bray did in terms of doing it like a draft board. If I needed to pick a number 1 wide receiver, who would be my 1 through 5? So starting at 5, I'm going with Calvin Johnson, 6'5", 240, 4'3", red zone target, short intermediate, can catch the ball down the field, got the single season record for most receiving yards in a season, almost 2,000 yards in one season. Yeah, he's like the Barry Sanders of wide receivers there. Not Cleveland. Detroit gets these like generational talents and then just like wastes their entire careers there. So his is the similar situation to Barry. Incredible guy. He'd be my number 5. Or I got Larry Fitz coming in at number 4. Got to see he was in our division, so I got to see him a lot. And that kid was incredible. He's number 2 all time in receiving yards and receptions, and then he's also number 6 on the all-time list with receiving touchdowns. That incredible run that he had there in the playoffs. Another guy with great size and speed. Hands are incredible. Could catch it 1 hand, 2 hand in traffic, red zone. Phenomenal guy. And then 3, I debated between 3 and 2. They're kind of close to me, but I went with T.O. at number 3. Yak Monster, another athletic marvel. He had the issues with the drops early in his career, and then he kind of figured it all out. And then he went on, to have that tremendous career. The year with the Philly year where he put them on his back and got to the Super Bowl, broke his ankle. What is it? The cortisone shots or whatever. Went out there and did his thing against the Pats. He's incredible. He's my number 3. Number 2, the guy whose name became a verb, Randy Moss. Everybody growing up, oh, he mossed you. Oh, you got mossed. I mossed that guy. That guy was incredible. He run, he put that hand up. You already knew what was happening. Then when he got with the GOAT man, he broke the record for most touchdowns in a single season. And that was at the back half of his career. He was my number 2 wide receiver. And the number 1, is obvious here. Who's the number 1 receiver of all time? That would be Jerry Rice. This guy was in the league cooking when his braids started back here. When he went to Seattle and his braids was like halfway through his head, and he was still giving guys work at 40. Number 1 all time touchdown, number 1 all time catches, number 1 all time reception, just number 1 at everything. He's the one guy on the list that's not like a super freak athlete out of the 5 that I had. It wasn't that fast, not that big, but production off the charts. Won 3 Super Bowls, a Super Bowl MVP, shattered all the records, played in multiple eras, played until he was 40 and could still play. To me, he's the unquestioned number one wide receiver to ever play the game, and arguably maybe the greatest football player of any position.
He had like a
Good
LeBron
list.
career.
He
His
did.
career, 2 decades.
It's
Well,
crazy.
he did have 2 legendary Hall of Fame quarterbacks too. I mean, that cannot be discounted because we see how Jets is not. He can't even get the rock right now because of his situations. I'm not saying I'm not trying to shit on Jerry, but that is like a blessing. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
2
yeah.
of them, Steve Young and Joe Montana. Like that's crazy.
He did work
I'm
with
not
Rich
taking
Gannon
anything
too,
away
so,
from him.
so I mean,
Rich Gannon's not he wasn't a scrub, but I feel you. I wanted to give some love to a couple more guys that we didn't name here. Julio Jones, obviously, we talked about him a little bit. Number 11, incredible in Atlanta for the time he was there, man. He was sort of like Megatron Jr. in a sense, like just big, strong, fast, could catch everything. That toe tap he had in the Super Bowl against the Patriots, y'all remember that shit? That was one of the greatest catches I've ever seen in my life. It was incredible. Julio, Marvin Harrison. Gotta give love to him. Incredible talent, catches everything, went across the middle, precise route runner, just that guy. Dre Johnson. Andre Johnson had a hell of a career, gold jacket, could catch everything, big as hell, and didn't always have the best QB situation, and he still made it work. Tim Brown, he was next to Jerry Rice for a little bit when they were with
yeah,
Oakland. Had a great career, and I liken him to this next guy too. They kind of sit in the same ilk, and that's Chris Carter. Could catch everything right next to Randy Moss. They were just a lethal duo. Crazy, crazy wide receivers, and we got like I think we're in the best era of wide receivers ever right now. It's like the athletes out wide right now are probably the best I've ever seen. And that just speaks to like where we are athletically as a species. But these guys are incredible. And I think some of these guys, I'm not sure they'll make it to this list, but they'll be in that conversation when they're done if they can continue to stay healthy. So wanted to say that. Anybody else y'all want to throw in there?
D Hop.
Michael Irvin as an
Damn.
honorable mention. There's a lot of deserving guys, but yeah, I would shout out Michael Irvin for sure. And Quan Bolton. It's a lot of guys. It's like the receiver. There's been a lot of receivers that have come through. Isaac Bruce. Both of them, yeah, both of them was like the real.
D Hop, just because there was a period of time, maybe it was 2 to 3 years, where he was the best receiver in the league, but he had like nobody's throwing to him low key. And he was put up numbers with people who shouldn't have been in the league. So like, I have to give my respect to him.
Hopkins was nice.
I don't think he has the stats that a lot of these people we name have, but just like I said, I saw him over a span of 2 to 3 years be the best receiver in the league with, a below average quarterback throwing to him, making him look like a superstar.
Yeah, he was always open. Crazy red zone target. I think he was just like they would just throw him fades to the corner end zone. He would just come down with him like all the time. D Hop was insane. But like I said, we had that one gotta go talk last week, and some of those guys on that list are way better athletes than the guys we talking about. So it just depends on if they can stay healthy, and get to this list one day. But that's it. I think that's a good exercise right there. Another one. I know y'all gonna kill me for that AB take, but go back and watch that film. That man was incredible. He was unguardable. Nobody could check him. Peace.